Here's the thing about memory loss that nobody really talks about. We all know it happens as we age, but very few people understand why. And once you understand the why, suddenly the solution becomes crystal clear. So let me tell you a story that'll change how you think about protecting your brain. Right now, as you're listening to this, your brain is using a chemical messenger called acetylcholine. Every memory you form, every name you recall, every moment you want to remember, acetylcholine is there making it happen. It's like the electrical current that lights up your house. Without it, the lights go dim. But here's where it gets interesting. Your body produces an enzyme. It's called acetylcholinesterase, and its job is to break down acetylcholine after it's done its work. Think of it like a cleanup crew. In a young, healthy brain, this system is perfectly balanced. You make acetylcholine, it does its job, the enzyme cleans it up, and the cycle repeats smoothly. But as we age, something shifts. That cleanup crew, the acetylcholinesterase, starts working overtime. It breaks down acetylcholine too quickly, too aggressively. So now you've got less of this crucial memory chemical available when you need it. And that's when the memory problems start. Forgetting names, losing your train of thought mid-sentence, walking into a room and having no idea why you're there. Now, the pharmaceutical industry figured this out decades ago. That's why drugs for Alzheimer's disease, medications like Aricept, work by blocking this enzyme. They're called acetylcholinesterase inhibitors. Fancy name. Simple concept. Block the enzyme that destroys acetylcholine, and suddenly your brain has more of it available. More acetylcholine means better memory. But here's what most people don't know. Nature figured this out long before the pharmaceutical companies did. There are herbs, common plants that have been used for centuries that do the exact same thing. They inhibit acetylcholinesterase naturally, and some of them are incredibly powerful. So today, we're going to walk through 5 herbs that work through this exact mechanism. These aren't random plants that someone decided might help memory. These are herbs with real scientific studies showing they block the enzyme, preserve acetylcholine, and improve memory in older adults. And I'm going to rank them based on the strength of evidence and their potency. Let's start at number 5 and work our way up to the most powerful one. Number 5 is Bacopa monnieri. Now, if you've never heard of this herb, don't worry. It's not commonly used in Western cooking. Bacopa has been a cornerstone of Ayurvedic medicine in India for over 3,000 years. They call it Brahmi, and it's been traditionally used for memory and cognitive enhancement. So what does the science say? Multiple studies have confirmed that Bacopa inhibits acetylcholinesterase. One study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology tested Bacopa extract and found significant enzyme inhibition. But the real proof is in human trials. Researchers gave older adults 300 milligrams of Bacopa extract daily for 12 weeks. The results? Significant improvements in memory acquisition, retention, and speed of information processing compared to placebo. Another study followed participants for just 6 weeks and found that Bacopa improved verbal learning and memory recall. The effects seem to build over time, so this isn't an instant fix. You need consistent use for at least 8 to 12 weeks to see the full benefits. The typical dose is 300 to 450 milligrams of a standardized extract daily. Some people report mild digestive upset when they first start, so it's best to take it with food. Moving up to number 4, we have Ginkgo biloba. This is probably the most well-known herb for brain health. You see it everywhere, in supplements, energy drinks, memory formulas. But does it actually work through our acetylcholinesterase mechanism? Yes, it does. Ginkgo contains compounds called flavonoids and terpenoids that have been shown in laboratory studies to inhibit acetylcholinesterase. But ginkgo is interesting because it works through multiple pathways. It also improves blood flow to the brain, acts as an antioxidant, and protects neurons from damage. The evidence for ginkgo and memory is substantial. A major meta-analysis, that's a study that combines data from multiple trials, looked at ginkgo use in older adults. They found consistent improvements in memory, attention and processing speed. One particularly interesting study gave healthy older adults 120 milligrams of ginkgo extract twice daily. After 6 weeks, they performed significantly better on memory tests compared to the placebo group. Now, here's something important about ginkgo. It can interact with blood-thinning medications like warfarin or aspirin because it has mild anti-clotting effects. So if you're on any blood thinners, you absolutely need to talk to your doctor before using ginkgo. The standard dose is 120 to 240 milligrams per day, usually split into 2 doses. Look for extracts standardized to 24% flavone glycosides and 6% terpene lactones. That's the formulation used in most studies. Now we're getting into the top 3, and this is where things get really interesting. Number 3 is rosemary. Yes, the same rosemary you use to season chicken or roasted potatoes. Rosemary has been associated with memory since ancient times. In fact, in Shakespeare's Hamlet, Ophelia says, "There's rosemary. That's for remembrance." People have known about this connection for centuries. They just didn't know why it worked. Now we know. Rosemary contains powerful compounds, particularly rosmarinic acid and carnosic acid, that are potent acetylcholinesterase inhibitors. A study in Phytoterapia tested rosemary extract and found it inhibited the enzyme by over 70% at certain concentrations. That's comparable to some synthetic drugs. But here's where rosemary gets even more fascinating. You don't even have to ingest it to get benefits. A study at Northumbria University in the UK had older adults sit in a room diffused with rosemary essential oil. Just breathing the aroma, they performed better on memory tests compared to a control group. Brain imaging studies suggest that compounds from rosemary can actually cross from your nasal passage into your bloodstream and reach your brain. For internal use, you can add fresh or dried rosemary to your cooking, brew it as a tea, or take it in capsule form. For aromatherapy, use a few drops of pure rosemary essential oil in a diffuser. Some people also drink rosemary tea, using 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried herb steeped in hot water for 10 minutes. Coming in at number 2 is lemon balm, also called Melissa. This is a member of the mint family with a lovely lemony scent. It's been used since the Middle Ages for stress, sleep, and cognitive function. Medieval scholars would take lemon balm to improve their memory and concentration during long hours of study. The science backs up this traditional use. Lemon balm is a powerful acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. In fact, one study compared lemon balm extract to common synthetic inhibitors and found it was remarkably effective. But what's really impressive are the human trials. One study published in the Journal of Neurology, Neurosurgery, and Psychiatry gave older adults with mild to moderate Alzheimer's 600 milligrams of lemon balm extract daily. After 16 weeks, they showed significant improvements in cognitive function and reduced agitation compared to placebo. Another study in healthy older adults found that even a single dose of lemon balm improved memory and mood. What I find particularly interesting about lemon balm is that it also has calming effects. It doesn't sedate you, but it reduces anxiety and stress, which themselves can impair memory. So you're getting this dual benefit of preserving acetylcholine while also creating a mental state that's more conducive to memory formation. You can use lemon balm fresh or dried in tea. For therapeutic effects, most studies use 300 to 600 milligrams of standardized extract twice daily. It's generally very well tolerated, though some people find it makes them drowsy if they take large amounts. And now, the number 1 herb for memory, the most powerful natural acetylcholinesterase inhibitor we're going to discuss today, sage. Sage, or Salvia officinalis, has been revered as a healing herb since ancient times. The Romans called it the sacred herb. Its Latin name, salvia, comes from salvare, meaning to heal or save. And when it comes to memory, sage truly lives up to that name. Multiple studies have confirmed that sage is one of the most potent natural acetylcholinesterase inhibitors available. One study found that sage essential oil inhibited the enzyme by up to 46%. That's remarkable for a plant extract, but the real proof comes from clinical trials in humans. Researchers at Newcastle University conducted a study where healthy older adults took sage extract for 4 months. The results were striking. Participants showed significant improvements in immediate word recall, delayed word recall, and overall memory compared to placebo. Another study found that just a single dose of sage extract improved memory performance within hours. What makes sage so special? It contains a variety of compounds, including rosmarinic acid, like rosemary, but also carnosol, ursolic acid, and other terpenoids. Together, these create a synergistic effect that's incredibly powerful for preserving acetylcholine. And here's something fascinating. Sage doesn't just inhibit acetylcholinesterase. It also has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that protect brain cells from damage. It's like getting multiple brain protective mechanisms in one plant. You can incorporate sage into your diet by using it in cooking. Fresh sage leaves sautéed in butter over pasta, roasted with vegetables, or in soups and stews. You can also make sage tea by steeping 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried sage in hot water for 10 minutes. For more consistent therapeutic effects, standardized sage extracts are available in capsules, typically taken at 300 to 600 milligrams daily. Now, let me tie this all together for you. What we've just discussed isn't folklore or wishful thinking. This is real biochemistry. These 5 herbs, bacopa, ginkgo, rosemary, lemon balm, and sage, all work through the same proven mechanism that pharmaceutical companies use in dementia medications. They inhibit acetylcholinesterase, that enzyme that breaks down your memory chemical, acetylcholine. The difference is, these are natural. They've been used safely for centuries, and they're accessible. You don't need a prescription. Some of them are probably already in your kitchen. But here's what I want you to understand. This isn't about replacing medical care. If you're experiencing significant memory problems, you need to see a doctor. These herbs are most powerful when used proactively, before major decline sets in. Think of them as part of a brain-healthy lifestyle, along with exercise, good sleep, stress management, and a nutrient-rich diet. And because these are pharmacologically active compounds, they can interact with medications. Ginkgo affects blood clotting. Sage can affect blood sugar. If you're on any medications, especially for diabetes, blood thinners, or sedatives, talk to your doctor before starting any of these herbs. Also, quality matters enormously. Not all supplements are created equal. Look for standardized extracts from reputable companies that do third-party testing. For herbs like rosemary and sage that you use in cooking, organic is best to avoid pesticides. Now, to make this easier for you, we've put together links to high-quality supplements for each of these herbs in the description below. These are brands that use standardized extracts, do third-party testing, and have the proper concentrations used in clinical studies. We've done the research, so you don't have to spend hours comparing products. Just check the description and you'll find everything you need. So where do you start? If I were advising someone, I'd say begin with the herbs that are easiest to incorporate. Start cooking with fresh rosemary and sage. Make it a habit. These are delicious, they're versatile, and you'll get gentle, consistent exposure. Then consider adding lemon balm tea in the evening. It'll help with stress and sleep while supporting your memory. If you want something more therapeutic, look into standardized extracts of sage or ginkgo. Start with one, give it at least 8 to 12 weeks to work, and pay attention to how you feel. Many people notice they're sharper, they remember names better, or they don't lose their train of thought as often. The beauty of understanding this mechanism is that you're not just taking something blindly, hoping it works. You know exactly what's happening in your brain. You know that by inhibiting that one enzyme, you're preserving the chemical messenger that's essential for memory. That's empowering. Your brain is incredibly precious. Every memory you have, every person you love, every skill you've learned, it's all stored there. And the good news is that nature has provided us with tools to protect it. These 5 herbs are those tools. Use them wisely, use them consistently, and give your brain the support it deserves. If you found this information valuable, please hit that subscribe button. We're creating more science-based content on natural health solutions for seniors, and you won't want to miss it. And do me a favor, share this video with someone you care about. Maybe it's a parent, a grandparent, or a friend who's worried about their memory. This information could make a real difference in their life. Remember, those supplement links are waiting for you in the description. Take action today. Your future self will thank you.